And welcome to another episode of Voice of Another Faithful. I'm Jason Shield, your host, and this week we will be talking all about the first week of free agency. Lots of signings, lots of losses, lots of keeps, and what do we still need? So, to start with, the biggest one I think is the loss of Eric Armstead. He signed a deal. I believe this deal is official now to go to Jacksonville. I think I guess I still need to learn more about how the draft capital and all of that works because I seem to recall a week or so ago seeing a report that the Niners were going to keep Eric Armstead until June to cover like 18 mil or something like that, and then release him then. So I'm not exactly sure how that works with him signing with Jacksonville now. Does Jacksonville eat that money? Do we eat that money? Either way, he's unfortunately gone. I mean, he's the longest tenured Niner that we've had in a while, 9 years. Uh, he was the Walter Mayton Man of the Year uh, person that the Niners put up every year. A lot of great off field and on field uh, acts. I think he's going to be extremely missed. Yeah, his last couple seasons have been injury prone, um, and I've seen some comments here or there on wonderful Facebook. Not that you can leave everything you see there, but um, I've seen some people saying his numbers have declined and all that. But you got to consider his numbers have declined because others have been stepping up as well. So I think all in all, he's still a good player. I think Jacksonville is going to use him quite well. It'll help them a lot. Um, but now, um, free agency also has opened up a lot of things that we have covered for Eric Armstead. But now that talked about Eric Armstead, let's go over this list. I have a nice list next to me on my other screen, and eventually I'm going to be able to flip it over so everyone can see it. But once I learn how to do that, so we got top of the list was Eric Armstead, Leonard Floyd. We picked Leonard Floyd up from Buffalo. Leonard Floyd, he was at the defensive end. So yeah, he could cut. He could. I bet you he could have probably slide inside if he needed to be. But I think we picked up other people that are sufficient for that. I think he's going to be excellent opposite Bosa. He did really good with Buffalo, so I think it's going to work out really well. I'm going to murder this person's name now. Yetter Gross Matos, another defensive end that we picked up from Carolina. Um, yeah, I was not expecting that one to be honest with you. I didn't not a big follower of Carolina, so I don't really know much about this person. I'm going to click on his name and see what happens. Let's see. He's 26, 3 years in the league. Came out of Penn State. So yeah, not terrible, especially for the team that he was coming from. His stats are pretty decent considering. Um, I think he's going to do well. We have a really awesome defensive line coach, so I think that's going to help a lot. Let's see, we lost Charlie Warner to Atlanta. I guess they needed somebody for their new quarterback to throw to. It's kind of interesting that little side bit. Kirk Cousins goes to Atlanta, which was where Shanahan was before, and the whole rumors and everything that Shanahan really loved Cousins and wanted him. And well, he's following Shanahan. He isn't quite lined up yet, but Who knows? Maybe sometime in the future, uh, Kirk Cousins will be a quarterback coach for Shanahan. All right, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold went to Minnesota. There's the Cousins replacement. Unless they get, unless they pick up somebody in the draft for Minnesota for quarterback, Sam Darnold might actually have a chance to start. Um, I think he benefited from being on the Niners. Um, I don't think it's a major loss for us. We kept our other quarterback. Yeah, he was third string, Brendan Allen. So we are keeping him. I think maybe we're going to pick up another quarterback in the draft ourselves, maybe another fifth, sixth, seventh round draft pick. We do seem to have pretty good chances with late round draft picks, so who knows? We picked up Jordan Elliott, defensive tackle. Um, so that's going to help with the Armstead and the Javon Kinlaw loss. Um, got him from Cleveland. If you watched the one of our losses last year to Cleveland, um, Jordan Elliott did really good against us. So why not go pick him up because we know what he can do. And again, like I said, Javon Kinlaw, he went to the Jets. So I'm sure Saleh knows what's going on with him. We are sending Cleveland Farrell to Washington. Um, yeah, defensive end. I think we've picked up a couple of those now to cover for him. He was situational anyway, so it's all right. Uh, we're keeping Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, our linebacker that rotates in. He did pretty good last year. I'm glad we're keeping him. Um, I think it'll work out really well. Offense, John Feliciano, we're keeping center, so I think that's a good sign. We're still keeping our left side pretty good and our center now. So now we just need a little more help on the right side. We are keeping. Who else are we keeping on there? McKivitz, yes. As much as everyone seems to think McKivitz did bad, especially in the Super Bowl, if you really watch the play, could he have done better? Sure. Could he have? But I don't think that whole play was even on him. I think the whole year round, he improved game after game. Every player is going to have a bad game. Montana had bad games. Young had bad games. Other linemen have had bad games. I think McKivitz, all in all, he's come along really well, and I think he's only going to get better. So, plus the contract that he got, it wasn't for. He's not getting paid to be the. It's not starting offensive line pay. So it I think will be a fine. I think we're going to pick up some people in the draft, and we still have time. It's not like free agency's done and over or anything. We did a lot of restructuring. Fred Warner and George Kittle both restructuring. A couple other restructures. So we still have some work to play, some money to play with. All right. So where was I? Oh yes. So we picked up from New Orleans Isaac. Again, I'm going to slaughter this guy's name. Yedem, cornerback. All right, so that's not a bad thing. Can never hurt to have a veteran quarterback. Been in, let's see, 5 years. Came out of Boston College. Um, he was third round overall in 2018. So I haven't dug into his full background, but I hear from a couple of Saints fans I happen to know that he was pretty good there. Let's see, Ray McLeod. That's gonna. I actually think that's going to hurt us a little bit. I don't know if Ronnie Bell is going to be ready for the starting returner role. Um, I think maybe his rookie season he was a little had the kind of rookie jitters and all that. So maybe he'll be okay. I think maybe they'll try to see how he does in preseason for that position, but I think maybe we might try to pick up somebody else for that. That could be another free agency move, is to pick up another punt returner. Ray McLeod did decent enough for us, so that's something we'll have to look at. Looks like we're keeping Kevin Givens, which is all right. Another defensive tackle. He knows the system enough, so he's good rotational. Matt Pryor, our guard, we elect to go to Chicago. Chicago's going to need all the help they can get. My personal feeling on them, I know we're talking Niners, but since we're sending a guard to Chicago, they're keeping Justin Fields and they're going to trade down their first round pick. That's just personal feelings. Isaiah Oliver, he went to the Jets as well. So Salah's getting some decent people from us. Let's see. There's more on my notes. Uh, Nothing major coming out of Juwan Jennings. I haven't seen anything, heard anything. I have a feeling we'll keep him. Uh, Ben Barch. There's offensive line that we're keeping right there. That's good. He knows the system. He's learning. I think he'll do all right this coming year. Offensive tackle, obviously Colton McKivitz. Let's see, lost Sam Darnold, John McKenna. Oh, Charlie Warner. We lost Charlie Warner. Yeah, I think I mentioned that going to Atlanta. Yep, I think I got everybody. Chase Lucas. Chase Lucas. Did I mention him? I did not. Chase Lucas. Chase Lucas is from Detroit. Let's see if I can find something on him. Really quick, like. Dun, dun, dun. Chase Lucas. Da, da, da. Cornerback. All right. Oh, hey, there we go. Signed as a potential nickel and special teamer. That's a good thing. We can never have two, not people that can be really good on special teams. Special teams is is super important. We can't go without good special teams. Um, Undrafted free agent in 2022 out of Arizona State. He only appeared in 4 games, so I'm not exactly sure. In the past 2 seasons, played with the Detroit Lions for the past 2 seasons, appeared in 4 games. Maybe one of our scouts just has seen something in him that they think they can work with. So we'll see about that. We'll see how that goes. Now, we also have several people that are still available, at least on our end. Randy Gregory, Chase Young, Sean Gibson, Sebastian Joseph, Oren Burks, Ross Dwelly is still around. We did sign Chris Conley as well. We re-signed him. I think that's an awesome thing to do. Just that one play that we all saw on the sideline there in the Super Bowl. That was really great. Logan Ryan and Terrence Mitchell. So we still have a number of free agents that are available for people to pick up or us to resign. It should be another interesting week coming up for all of that. I still think that yes, do we need to address Offensive line, the right side, sure. Um, I think we're going to address part of that in the draft. Um, it's nice that we actually have a first and second round pick this year, um, so we can address that in one of those two picks. Um, but I still think a veteran would be helpful. One more veteran for the offensive line. I I'm not seeing it. Um, let me look and see what they got for free agent offensive guards. Free agent offense lineman 2024 still available. Here we go. All right. Oh yeah, there's quite a Lakin Tomlinson still hasn't been picked up. I think that would be an awesome pick. Um, he's been a 49er. I think he knows the system enough. He hasn't been gone that long. Um, and he did a good job when he was here. So I think if we pick up Lakin Tomlinson, that would be a good pick. We need a right tackle, Trenton Brown from New England. 8 years. Um, he's a little older. He's 30. Uh, seventh rounder back in 2015 from Florida. Um, can't hurt to try. I mean, if we can get him on a really cheap price, 1 year contract kind of thing, it certainly couldn't hurt to have him. Let's see, are there any other right tackles? Billy Turner from the Jets. Right tackle. David Quessenberry from Minnesota. A lot of older ones. Not a lot of them in here. Let me click on the age thing. Maybe it'll guard. Assuming the guards that are on here are going to tell me that they can be either right or left tackle, or right guard or left guard. Uh, Xavier Newman Johnson from the Jets. Josh Jones, Matt Pert from the Giants. That's tackle. But the youngest specific right tackle is Trenton Brown from New England. Couldn't hurt to at least look into him, see how he did, what his numbers were. And again, if we can pick him up on a really cheap contract for a year, see how he does. Have him teach a rookie that we might get out of the draft. And I still think, while Lakin Tomlinson is older himself, I think he would benefit, and the Niners would benefit from him. Yeah, but there's still a lot that we can still do in free agency. I think the offensive line would be next to address, but there's not a lot left younger wise. Guard, tackle, names aren't popping, but to be perfectly honest, how many offensive linemen do you know from other teams? I mean, we obviously know our own team, but these would be ones that we'd have to look into. I will work on that for Monday's episode, or next week's episode. Maybe someday I'll be a Monday through Friday episode thing, but once a week. So next week I'll look into a couple of these guards and tackles that are available in free agency if we haven't picked up anybody by that point. Now for draft, Uh, 2024 draft offensive tackles. All right, so we got a guy out of Notre Dame. We got to think honest here. How many of these how many of these offensive tackles are going to be available at pick 31? Because I think that's what we should do with our first pick is get a tackle. And so maybe if we're lucky, we got one, two, the top five are on this list I'm looking at. Joe Alt from Notre Dame. Um, I'm not going to try to pronounce this guy's first name, but his last name is Fashanu from Penn State. Fuaga from Oregon State. Got to be specific with these colleges. Out of Alabama, J.C. Latham, and out of Georgia, Mims. So I think Mims is probably going to be our earliest, maybe possible top, but I can see all five of these going possibly before we can get to them. Maybe we'll trade up. Maybe we'll trade up. Trade our first round, and I think what did I say a couple weeks ago? We have like 2 or 3 fourth rounders. And look at my notes. That's what notes for. We got 3 fourth rounders, so we could probably do the first round and a fourth round to move up in the draft and maybe be able to pick up Mims or Latham, and that would definitely help. And what about guards? Offensive tackles, offensive guards. All right, so again, I don't know how many of these gentlemen will be available by the time one of our first pick comes up, but my guess, the top 5, according to this list, are Fautanu from Washington, Haynes from UConn, Beebe from Kansas State, Mahogany from Boston College, and Pooney from Kansas. I could see maybe one of the bottom 3, Beebe, Mahoney, or Mahogany, or Pooney being available. So out of those tackles I talked about, or one of these 3 guards, I think that would be helpful. Wonder if it'll specify if they're right guard or left guard. Just says offensive line guard. So we'll see what happens in the next week with more free agents, and then I'll start looking into some of these guards and tackles a little bit more in depth, the top 5 of each, and that'll be another episode for a couple weeks down the road before the draft starts, and determine who we might get. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a guard in the first round and a tackle in the second round, or vice versa. Speaking of the draft, we also have a couple of fan hopes, and that's what I'm going to put it as, fan hopes of Jerry Rice's son and Frank Gore's son. So, yeah, again, those are fan hopes, but are they realistic? Yeah, maybe, maybe not. Maybe Jerry Rice's son, if he's hanging around in the 5th round, late 4th, early 5th, Maybe we can pull him off. That would be nice. I'm sure Jerry Rice himself would love that. Um, but if that doesn't happen, that doesn't happen. This is a business. They're going to go where they're drafted. They're going to go where they think they're going to do the best, um, or at least where the teams that want them think they're going to do the best. And while it would be awesome for them to be part of our team, I think if it's either one is going to happen, it'd probably be Rice's son, and it'll be a later round, fifth round, late fourth round, fifth round. I don't think he'll be around in the sixth round, so I think if we would do it, it would be in the fifth round pick. Other than that, we are going to go over more of free agency next week. We'll go over some possible draft picks a little bit more next week. And if any of you have any ideas of a particular subject you want to hear about, let me know. Put a comment down. Also, while you're doing that, like and subscribe. That'd be awesome. Uh, should be interesting draft season. Um, One of these days, I want to say it's going to be next year. It's going to be in Chicago, the draft. Where is the 2025 NFL draft? Oh, that's right. That's why I was thinking that one. It's not in Chicago, it's in Green Bay. Hey, look, I live here. Not in Green Bay, but in Wisconsin. So that would be awesome, wouldn't it? Doing a live show from the draft. I something to think about. I could probably start planning that trip right now. But that would be awesome, wouldn't it? All right, something to look forward to. With that said, I hope to hear from you. I hope to get some good comments, likes, dislikes, improvements, whatever you want to say. It's all good. Uh, Try not to get yourselves into trouble, and see you next week.